It is no surprise the One Piece world has legends that, of course, make world-defining acts and produce amazing feats. They have always, rightfully so, been held to a very high degree. They have, of course, inspired the current generation to become just as, if not stronger than they were. With multiple current-day characters making their own impact on the world, their comparison is bound to be made. What's up, guys? My name is Verdix, and today we are going to be discussing if the old generation has been surpassed. If you like videos like this, I post quality content weekly you won't want to miss. As One Piece being the series it is, we still haven't seen all the feats of a good amount of legendary characters. But yes, this is the same with current generation too, I know. But the old gen has shown that they are not easy warriors to be surpassed. Roger and Whitebeard, with the aid of their crews, were never able to be caught by the Navy once, even with Garp and Sengoku both in their primes going up against them. When they clash in Oden's flashback, Oden immediately understands he is not at these guys' level. Mind you, this is a guy that was able to go toe-to-toe with Kaido and scar him, literally giving him PTSD in the process. A guy this strong was outclassed easily by guys like that. During the process, they fought 3 days and 3 nights and came out just fine. Even Rayleigh was dominating a younger Marco and was unscathed, most likely no-diffing everyone he fought. Another legendary moment to mark is of course the God Valley incident and the reign of Rocks and his crew. Roger with his crew, alongside Garp, Garling, and probably the Gorosei, fought off the Rocks pirates, which included Rocks, Whitebeard, Shiki, Kaido, and Big Mom. All these heavy hitters fighting off against each other was such a big moment, it had to be erased from history. While we do know the extent to Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom's strength, we do not know Shiki's, and especially Rocks. But the thing about Rocks is, look who he had on his crew. If Whitebeard can get your respect to follow you like that, then you have got to be insanely strong. We know his dream was to take over and become the king of the world, and he was very close to doing just that. Even during old age, they still managed to shine bright, as Whitebeard was a threat still, even despite his age and sickness, was enough to destroy the entire world. Even when having half his face blown off and multiple holes burning his organs being put through him, he was still able to fight off Blackbeard and overpower him before meeting his end in the process, while Garp is going blow for blow with Kuzan of all people and destroying most of the continental-sized island of Hachinoso with Galaxy Impact. Rayleigh is enough to partially stall an admiral in Kizaru before being overwhelmed and is enough to scare off Blackbeard from killing Boa, and Sengoku is able to destroy the Blackbeard pirates pre-Whitebeard fruit. These guys are all void of their past bodies but can still show off great feats. On top of this, they are all hockey masters who have had years of experience to comply with their amazing strength. Of course, we also have a Garling who most likely scarred Whitebeard at God Valley, but let's wait and see, and I'm not considering Joy Boy and Emu when I talk about the old generation, as those guys are a different thing entirely. While the old generation has their own unique history and power, the current one is writing their own names in the history books as we speak, as of course the main character Luffy has freed Wano in defeating Kaido, while in Egghead he was able to thrash the Gorosei, and he has learned Haki from Rayleigh obviously and trained it to the point of its advanced abilities. He even unlocks ACOG and Gear 5 in the process, making him a monster that can definitely compete with the past legends, while the other Yonkos such as Shanks and Blackbeard have sparked their own path to claiming the One Piece. Shanks was able to effortlessly one-shot a guy who aided in the defeat of Big Mom, while Blackbeard not so easily but still defeated the other. Neither of these guys went all out and showed that even if they can defeat an emperor like Big Mom, they're still not at their levels, as Shanks showcased Roger-like abilities with Divine Departure, and Blackbeard has Whitebeard's insane Gura fruit, which helps him dominate the seas. Alongside that, he has his Yami Yami no Mi, which produces infinite gravity and darkness he uses that seems to have an 100% win rate against his enemies, defeating foes like Ace and Law with it. They are not the only pirates, as Mihawk is of course to be mentioned, as he is the world's strongest swordsman and is arguably stronger than Shanks. They have definitely been a worthy target for the One Piece. It is not just the pirates that have showcased their own legendary abilities, but the Marines have eclipsed to a strength never reached before, as they are stated to be stronger than they have ever been, even with a Prime Garp and Sengoku. And on top of this, the Admirals, specifically the OG-3, are stated to be the strongest force the Marines have several times, even above the likes of, yes, Garp and Sengoku. They showcase this as Kizaru is able to go blow for blow and overpower Luffy a few times in Egghead, even while massively holding back. Kuzan is able to, like I stated before, go blow for blow with Garp and defeat him on Hachinosu. He's also shown to have equal physical strength as Garp, and when they clash, most likely Conqueror's Haki is applied that creates an explosion, something that has never happened before during a Conqueror's Haki clash, while Akainu is able to critically injure Whitebeard and defeat him during Marineford, as he burnt half his face off and his organs, damage that Whitebeard was feeling more than anything he ever did before. On top of this, one thing I've been waiting to mention about the old generation is they are stated to keep their prime strength, while their other stats are depleted. Their prime strength is still in tap, just not as easy to tap into as before, meaning when Whitebeard hit Akainu, he kept his prime strength that even during his old age could destroy the entire world. Whitebeard also had a rage amp, and as we know in One Piece, these are serious things, meaning the world-destroying attack was amplified with a lot of rage, and Akainu was able to immediately catch himself, burn a hole back up, and was ready to take on the entire Whitebeard fleet and even the red-haired pirates if not for the war being stopped. He didn't suffer any broken bones from this at all and was only bleeding. Mind you, Akainu is stated to also have the highest AP amongst Devil Fruits, and we have yet to see him go all out, as when he does, everything in sight will burn up, as when he fights Kuzan, the island of Punk Hazard's entire climate changed forever. And during the making of this video, Oda was asked in SBS to explain the bounty system for the Cross Guild, where at the very top, we see the Fleet Admiral Akainu is worth 5 crowns, meaning 5 billion berries. This is a bounty higher than any Yonko and up there with Roger and Whitebeard, and I've been saying for a while now that Akainu is in that legendary tier status. Oda wanks this guy like no other, even more than Shanks, enough to put him in status with the likes of Roger and Whitebeard themselves. One last character to mention quickly is, of course, Dragon. While we do not have feats yet or confirmation of his powers, he is definitely going to be a heavy hitter, but we cannot do too much discussion around what he can do, as like I said, he has no feats and this would be just headcanon. But the current generation as it is more diverse with top tiers than the previous and might potentially be stronger as well. Without doing a versus gauntlet, I'd rather discuss which generation of warriors is overall stronger, including the strongest they both have and the amount of fighters at that strength. The old generation obviously will have Roger, Rocks, Whitebeard, and Garp as its heavy main hitters, while the current generation has the likes of Akainu, Shanks, Blackbeard, and Mihawk as its main guys. When it comes to AP, the old generation is going to take this, as even in their old age, their strength is considered amongst the very best, as Whitebeard was able to destroy the entire world and go blow for blow with Roger while being stronger than guys like Kaido and Big Mom fairly easily. While Blackbeard himself has great AP, most of it is from what Whitebeard already had. He was even known as the world's strongest man, even though that title is pretty much retconned by Oda. Roger was able to go blow for blow with him and is considered to be even stronger, while Shanks, and of what we've seen from both fighters, fight in pretty much the exact same style, and nothing indicates he has reached his former captain's level of strength. Another great feat they have on their side is Garp being able to punch away entire continental-sized islands with the Galaxy Impact, which has not been shown by a current gen character unless you count Bergam in the same tier as Galaxy Impact. Meanwhile, Rocks had Whitebeard and Shiki themselves alongside Kaido and Big Mom under his rule because of how much they had respect for his strength. Garp and Roger collectively had to team up to take him down. The one guy that does compete and honestly might surpass them by himself in AP is Akainu, as he is talked about in that level of strength and his AP is higher than any other. Plus, the way Akainu battles is whenever you leave, you're either dead or missing parts of your body. Mihawk might contend a bit himself in terms of AP, as he does have strength that surpasses the likes of Shanks, and he can do serious damage if he lands a head-on attack. Either way, collectively, the old generation still has higher AP. I do think the current generation is bound to surpass them, but as for now, the old generation is still showing better attack potency. As for speed, we do not have many speed feats at all from the old generation, but I believe the current generation is going to be taking this. As Kizaru, he is faster than anyone we have seen, and guys like Akainu, Kuzan, Shanks, Luffy, and Mihawk could contend in terms of amazing speed as well. While the fastest the old generation has is most likely Garp and Roger, and I don't think they are faster than most of these guys, especially Kizaru. The old generation, however, is taxed with amazing endurance, and it's pretty clear they take it, as Whitebeard was able to still fight and overpower Blackbeard even after having half his face and organs burned away, while Garp survived being stabbed by Shiryu after clashing with Kuzan, and then gets his chest pierced by Kuzan's ice and survives it. So far, the only feat that would contend would be Akainu taking an enraged Whitebeard's full blunt hit and coming back up only bleeding, and Kuzan surviving in a fight against Akainu with half his leg burned off. While these are great feats as it is, having half your face and organs burned off, then going on to pulling a top tier is a much better feat. While in terms of abilities and hacks, this is kind of a no-brainer, as the current generation is going to be taking this, as the old gen has Shiki, Whitebeard, Sengoku, and most likely Rocks being the best they offer, while the new generation has the Admirals, Dragon, Blackbeard, and Luffy. The main way the older gen fought was through their haki. They didn't care for the importance of having a double fruit the same way it is important to have it currently. Guys like the Admirals can also use haki to improve upon their abilities, as with Future Sight, they can morph their bodies and avoid attacks, which the older generation just simply cannot do. In terms of who is stronger, I think that is very close, and both sides have their win cons. While in terms of diversity, the current generation has much stronger contenders than the old generation had, and like I said earlier, they contain the faster and more hacks fighters. The one thing the old generation has that is really helping them is both their AP and endurance, as these guys hit like mountains and are almost impossible to take out. I think if the current generation were to team up tactically and fight, they would outnumber the old gen, but in terms of who has the stronger fighters straight up, I'm gonna have to give it to the old generation, as the only current gen character confirmed to be at that level is Akainu, while the others sure can show in the future they are too at that level. Using the resources I currently have, he is the only one, and if Rocks is also stronger than Roger to where he really needed Garp's help to beat him, this also upscales the old generation and gives them a lot higher chances of winning. Another thing is that when Akainu and Aokiji go all out, they tend to destroy everything around them, meaning any of the current generation caught in the crossfire will be severely hurt, and I believe the current generation will inevitably in due time surpass the old gen. I don't think, or at least haven't been shown they are right now. There's also the argument of if you consider the Gorosei as in the old generation. I mean, their immortality will certainly play an annoying factor in the fight, but either way, I don't think their importance here really matters, because no matter what way you put it, as of right now, with what we can go off of, the old generation is still up on top. Well, what do you guys think? Is the current generation stronger? Do you think the old gen just slams? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that subscribe button and leave a like to help with the algorithm. Much appreciated. Shout out to Tiberius for the thumbnail. If you would like some of your own, hit him up. His Twitter link will be in the description, as well as my Twitter at verdicts_, for more of my takes